welcome to the Blue Mountains Ecoregion. This ecoregion is the largest ecoregion in Oregon at 23,984 square miles. Although it's named for the largest mountain range in this ecoregion, aka the Blue Mountains range, the Blue Mountains ecoregion is a diverse complex of mountain ranges, valleys, and plateaus that extends beyond Oregon into the states of Idaho and Washington. Hey there, Idaho! Hey there, Washington! The Blue Mountains ecoregion stretches from the center of the state up into Oregon's northeastern corner. Let's look at the region's boundaries to help us understand where exactly we will be exploring today. At its northern boundary, you'll find the Columbia Plateau ecoregion. And to the northeastern corner, you'll find Washington State. The southern boundary is marked by the Basin and Range ecoregion, while the western boundary bumps up against the Eastern Cascades and Foothills ecoregion. And moving way out over to the eastern boundary, you can easily find where the Blue Mountains ecoregion ends at the Snake River and Snake River Plain ecoregion. Snakes. And just across the Snake River is the state of Idaho. Hey there, potato fans. What am I doing? A river dance. The most important rivers in this region are the Deschutes, the Grand Ronde, the Imnaha, John Day, Malheur, Powder, Snake, Umatilla, and Wallowa rivers. All rivers in this region, the Blue Mountains ecoregion, flow into the Columbia River watershed and eventually out to the Pacific Ocean. Who is this John Day guy that so many places are named after? Well, little is known about the man for whom a river, a dam, two towns, John Day and Dayville, were named after. The following story is based on historical accounts collected by the city of John Day. Some of it may be true, some of it might be rumors. Records were sketchy back in 1800s Oregon. John Day was a hunter from the backwoods of Virginia. He had been employed by Ramsey Crooks for several years when he arrived in Oregon. And we're talking about Ramsey Crooks, everybody, not Gordon Ramsay. He was described as being 6 feet tall and 2 inches, a handsome man with manly countenances, and he was very tall and straight, with an elastic step as if he stood on springs. It was his boast that in his younger days, nothing could beat him down unless he lived too wild. And unfortunately, he did live a little too wild sometimes. Still, he was a strong, bold, and prime woodsman who was an excellent shot. John Day was hired by the Wilson Price Hunt Overland Party of the Pacific Fur Company. These were the people that went to Astoria. And he was hired as a hunter in the fall of 1810. They were to cross the Plains and Rocky Mountains during 1811 and arrive in Astoria during the winter of early spring in 1812. During December 1811, he became ill. That's for the video, don't worry everybody. And his life was saved only because Ramsey Crooks remained behind with him at an Indian camp near Weiser, Idaho. The following spring, Crooks and Day made their way across the Blue Mountains to the Columbia River. They were attacked by Indians, robbed, and left naked near the mouth of the Maui River, which is 30 miles east of the Dalles. After the attack, the two men started back to the friendly Walla Walla country where they met Robert Stewart's party going to Astoria. The two men joined the party and reached Astoria in early May 1812. The people started calling the Maui River John Day River because he was attacked there. Within a few years, the maps changed the name to John Day, and then a valley was called John Day. Later, 2 cities took on the name, Then the fossil beds and a dam finally took on the name of the river. It is likely that the guy John Day never actually visited the area which now uses his name so frequently. Hey there, John Day. You ever been to John Day? No, I've never been there before. The climate varies over broad temperature and precipitation ranges because of elevation differences. Overall, the ecoregion has short and dry summers and long, cold winters. What a cold place. I mean, what a cool place. Brrr! It's freezing out here. The Blue Mountains Ecoregion includes the coldest places in Oregon. Average January temperatures range from the high to mid 30s to lows in the teens. Also, because much of the precipitation falls as snow, snowmelt gives life to the rivers and irrigated areas in this region. Hey there! Even in modern times, the Blue Mountains Ecoregion is a remote part of Oregon that takes residents from the Willamette Valley 3 to 5 hours to reach by car. However, in the mid-1800s, the Blue Mountains were a challenging obstacle to settlers traveling on the Oregon Trail and were often the last mountain range American pioneers had to cross before either reaching southeast Washington near Walla Walla or passing down the Columbia River Gorge to the end of the Oregon Trail in the Willamette Valley, near Oregon City. So, next time you ask yourself, are we there yet? Be thankful you aren't walking or taking a super bumpy wagon ride through the Blue Mountains. Primary transportation in the Blue Mountains ecoregion is by motor vehicles. Vroom vroom! The region is connected by hundreds of miles of two-lane highways, and smaller roads including both paved and graveled roads also link together the region's more remote corners. There are several main highways that connect the region. The east-west, aka even-numbered highways, are mainly US 26, which passes through the cities of Madras, Redmond, Prineville, and John Day. The primary north-south, aka the odd-numbered highway, is US 97, which heads through the western border of the Blue Mountains ecoregion up until where it meets with the Cascade Mountains ecoregion. The region is also crossed by the Union Pacific Railroad's main line between Portland, Oregon and Pocatello, Idaho, which crests at the summit of Kamala, Oregon, near the Union Pacific's LeGrand substation, which runs between LeGrand and Hinkle, Oregon, which makes one of the major Union Pacific rail yards. The biggest city in the Blue Mountains ecoregion is Redmond, with 32,400 people. Next comes the city of LeGrand, home to Eastern Oregon University, with 13,614 people. Then we have Prineville with 10,734, Baker City with 9,809, and Madras with 7,051. After those cities, the population drops off for the rest of the ecoregion population centers, and none of them have more than 3,000. Union is the next biggest one with 2,200. Then we have Enterprise with 1,996, Elgin with 1,797, John Day with 1,672, Joseph with 1,124, and then the little city of Fossil with just 438 people. The most common tree in Oregon, and our state tree, the Douglas fir, is not quite as common out in the Blue Mountains ecoregion. However, you'll still find quite a few Douglas fir trees out in this region's forests. In fact, many forests that were once dominated by ponderosa pine trees are slowly being dominated by Douglas fir trees as the natural fire cycle has been altered by humans over the past 100 years of fire suppression. Hey there, Douglas. Remember our little mouse Douglas? I sure do. What's bigger than a whale, yet hides out of sight? What could fill 250 semi-trucks, yet spreads itself thin? The answer lies in the Blue Mountains of eastern Oregon, and this thing tries to kill whatever it touches. But to see it, you'll have to know just where to look. What are we looking for? If I have a magnifying glass, what am I looking for? Did I hear you say Nintendo's Mario has something to do with this? Really? Well, that's actually right. The huge thing we are looking for is a fungus. Think mushrooms, like Mario Kart. Let's head out to the Malheur National Forest in the Blue Mountains Ecoregion to check out the humongous fungus, the world's largest organism by volume. I'm going to pan around now. Pay close attention to the tops of the trees. Does that tree look very alive? Does that tree look very alive? What could be doing this? That tree doesn't look very healthy. It's like missing everything at the top. What could be doing this to the trees? And no, it's not me. Look at that one in the distance. Is that a happy tree? Is that a happy tree? Nope, that looks like an unhappy tree. That looks like a really sad tree. All its leaves are gone. This one also looks sad. And it's a baby one, that's even sadder. You see how it's turning red? Ooh, that's not a good sign for that one. So where am I? We are on top of one of the largest living organisms in the world. And all you can see of it are these. These little mushrooms are all that shows of this mushroom that lives under the ground here. It's one of the largest living organisms, and nearby is something called the humongous fungus. And it lives all under the ground here. You can tell where it's living by looking at the tops of the trees. The trees that are dying or have needles that are changing color, that's where this thing is living. So this thing is all over, like hundreds of feet or thousands of feet in every direction, underneath the ground, but you can barely see it. It's in the ground. Every now and then you can see a little thing of it. And everywhere you go doesn't mean that there's mushrooms that are connected underground everywhere, but this is an unusual place. This place is the Malheur National Forest, and we're looking at one of the largest mushrooms in the world. This is the gigantic mushroom. And you can tell where it is by the dead trees. Because it attacks the roots and then it kills the trees. And slowly they die. And some trees can be resistant to it, and those ones survive. The Blue Mountains Ecoregion is home to hundreds of species of animals. Some of the animals you might see in the ecoregion include the black bear, the bald eagle, the western rattlesnake, the American beaver, pronghorn, and more. Watch out! You might get bitten by one of those rattlesnakes. Meat! Meat! Hey there! What is the sound? What is that sound? That is the sound of the American pika, commonly referred to as the rock rabbit. American pikas are small mammals that inhabit rocky, cold alpine and subalpine areas, typically at elevations of 8,000 to 13,000 feet. Pikas are only found in the western part of North America. In Oregon, American pikas are celebrated residents of Crater Lake National Park, as well as other mountainous areas of central and eastern Oregon. American pikas possess adaptations that allow them to exist in super cold places. Pikas' thick brown fur and round bodies help them conserve heat efficiently on the treeless, windswept slopes. Their furry paws provide traction for them as they scramble across the snow. Despite their nickname, Rock Rabbit, Pika's appearance differs significantly from their cousin, the rabbit. Pikas have comparably little rounded ears, no tail, and are much smaller, with adults' bodies about the size of a tennis ball, and babies not much larger than a little walnut. Pikas make their dens in rock piles and rock slides. They are territorial and defend their homes from predators, as well as other pikas. Pikas are vocal animals and will use a sharp call or whistle to warn others of danger. Meet, 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 meet. You might hear that sound. When not defending themselves, pikas spend much of their time foraging for food, and their diet is comprised of plants such as thistle, sedges, wildflowers, and grasses. Pikas store some of their food for winter in piles referred to as haystacks or hay piles. While pikas themselves are difficult to spot, their distinctive haystacks can provide signs of their presence. Pikas are diurnal, active during the day, and forage year-round. Typically, pikas mate about a month before the first snow melt, sometime between April and July. During this time, males will use their call to attract females. Pikas give birth to 2 to 4 babies and raise them for about 4 weeks. At this point, the babies will leave the mother, though they will not be adult size for another 2 months. Imagine becoming an adult in 2 months. And the mother may then mate again and have some more baby pikas. So, if you hear something going, meet, meet, what's that going to be? The American pika. The largest herd of elk in North America lives in Hell's Canyon. I'm an elk. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Oh, hey there, it's Gordon the fish. The Blue Mountains Ecoregion is home to a variety of fish. These include the Chinook salmon, the Great Basin red brand trout, the coho salmon, bull trout, and Pacific lamprey. Water quality is very important for the fish. The fish require cool, clear, fast-flowing water to thrive. Too much mud or silt in the water can bury eggs. Barriers in watersheds, such as grates, dams, and irrigation controls, make it hard for fish to travel. Barriers are an especially important factor for salmon because salmon need to swim out to the ocean as an important part of their life cycle. Just keep swimming, 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 swimming. I'm going to the ocean, folks. Swimming, swimming, swimming. The river valleys and lower levels of the range have been occupied by indigenous peoples for thousands of years. Historic tribes of the region include the Walla Walla, the Cayuse people, and the Umatilla. These tribes have now been associated together as the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indians. Now they live together as the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation, located mostly in Umatilla County, Oregon. The southern portion of the Blue Mountains were inhabited by several different bands of the Northern Paiute, a Great Basin culture. Native American tribes originally migrated to the Blue Mountains for hunting and salmon runs. The Native Americans used to purposely burn small parts of the forest in order to create pastures to attract game for hunting. Native Americans continue to live in the Blue Mountains. Today, you can see many places with Native American names. Some of these places include names that are notable, such as Walla Walla in Washington, the Wallowa Mountains in Oregon, Wallowa Lake, Sacagawea, or if you want to say it correctly, Sacagawea Mountain, and the city of Joseph. Joseph was named after Chief Joseph, which was the leader of the Walloon-Watcon, aka the Wallowa band of Nez Perce. So when you're exploring in the eastern Oregon region of the Blue Mountains, please check out the map and you'll see many Native American names as you explore. Howdy! The most important industries in the Blue Mountains ecoregion are agriculture, aka farming. This includes livestock, which means beef cattle, dairy cattle, sheep, poultry, and hogs. Forest products, manufacturing, recreation are also really important, which includes hunting, camping, and more. While the natural resources industry, especially forest products, logging, and mining made this region historically rich, the Blue Mountains fell into a bit of a downturn in the 1980s when the timber industry stalled out. Unemployment in the eastern city of Joseph reached a high of 17%. As mentioned earlier, one of the main industries in the region is farming. Major crops include wheat, alfalfa, potatoes, onions, sugar beets, carrots, field corn, and mint. That sounds minting. Hey there! What's yellow in fall and naked in winter? If you guessed the western larch, then well done. Good job, yo. Larches are different from most conifers because they're deciduous, meaning they lose their leaves each fall. I'm a deciduous tree and I lose my needles and leaves in the fall. Only 10 species of larch grow in the world, mostly in cold parts of the northern hemisphere. Only the western larch is native to Oregon. In the fall of each year, the western larch is easy to recognize. It's as easy as an apple tree because its needles turn bright yellow and drop to the ground. After standing bare all winter, larch blossoms out in a new spring clothes of light green. Hey there, I'm wearing a light green set of new needles because I'm a western larch in the spring. No other western conifer is such a pale green. You can pick out a western larch from far away as the colors can be clearly seen. Western larch is the only conifer native to Oregon that sheds its needles in winter. This alone makes it easy to identify. Other features that help identify the western larch includes the needles that are clustered on stout woody pegs and whiskery cones. Old larches have colorful reddish bark that flakes off in jigsaw puzzle pieces. This is pretty similar to the pieces of bark that flake off from the ponderosa pine. The trunk of the western larch is straight as a flagpole. And the crown, the top part of the tree, I think of the top part of the tree because I think of a king's crown, is so open you can see the entire trunk and all its short horizontal branches. The western larch is a large, fast-growing tree for the dry forest it occupies. It's long-lived and often exceeds 500 years in age. Hey there, old fellow. I'm sorry, did I hurt your feelings, Mr. Larch? So where does the western larch grow? In Oregon, look for the western larch on the east side mountain ranges between 2,000 and 7,000 feet. Although these forests are dry by west side standards, like the standards in the Willamette Valley or the Coast Range ecoregion, western larch likes comparatively moist locations such as the north-facing slopes and western valley or eastern valley bottoms. Western larch produces lumber that is well liked for general construction. Higher grades of the wood have an attractive grain and are used for interior finishing. Looks like a western larch is over there. Hey there, Mr. Larch. It's also valuable for posts, poles, mine timbers, And it's especially valuable for mine timbers because it's resistant to decay. A heavy wood, larch firewood produces a great deal of heat. How do we remember how to identify the western larch? How do we remember? Well, look for the tree with needles and cones, aka the conifer, or conifer as I say, that is yellow in fall and naked in winter. Hey there, buddy. Grow some light green clothes. What are you doing? Put your clothes on. Whoa! Ah! What's that painful thing? Oh my gosh, it's like stabbing me with a million needles. Ah, what the pain? Oh, hey there, I didn't know you were there. Well, I'd like you to meet my buddy, Spruce. Spruces are a genus of about 40 species of coniferous evergreen trees in the pine tree family. Only 3 species of spruce are native to Oregon, and only 2 of those are common. The species of spruce that you'll find in the Blue Mountains Ecoregion is the Engelmann spruce. The Engelmann spruce is similar to the Sitka spruce, with cones and needles that are difficult to tell apart. The bark is thin, gray with a purplish tinge and scaly, and Engelmann needles have an unpleasant odor when crushed. Kind of like me. The Engelmann spruce is a much smaller tree than its coastal cousin, the Sitka spruce. Most Engelmanns are shorter than 100 feet tall and 3 feet around. The wood is used for lumber, and like other spruces, it has superior paper-making properties. It is also used to make the finest violins in the world. The range of where these spruces grow is the best way to tell the Engelmann spruce from the Sitka spruce. The Engelmann ordinarily grows above 4,000 feet in cold, wet environments. Therefore, it's not going to be found in the coastal range ecoregion. Rather, you'll find the Engelmann spruces farther inland. In the Cascade Mountains and Blue Mountains, it grows from Canada all the way down to Mexico. The Engelmann spruce is a shade-tolerant tree, meaning you'll find Engelmann spruces growing in the shade. That's why you'll find little trees and big trees growing closely mixed together. Branches are held onto the trunk nearly all the way down to the ground, except in very dense strands of trees. Many trees you'll see at the lower parts of the tree, the branches fall off. But in the Engelmann spruce, you'll see branches sticking on those trunks all the way down to the bottom. Hey there, buddy. What's your name? Oh, it's Engelmann the spruce. The western juniper is known by everyone who lives in eastern Oregon. Western junipers are small evergreen trees with thin, shreddy bark and bluish berries and tiny scale-like needles that are scratchy to the touch. Each scale has a small gland on its back where there is or was a tiny bead of resin that seals the breathing pore to conserve moisture. Juniper berries are really cones with soft scales that are seldom open. They take 2 years to mature and have a bluish-white coating called a bloom that can be rubbed off. The resin inside these berries has a strong distinctive odor of its own. In Oregon, home on the range means the scent of western juniper and sagebrush. What was that noise? Oh, what was that? Oh, that was the camel of trees, aka the western juniper. The western juniper is the camel of trees because it lives on less water in dry climates. Where it has moisture, the western juniper will grow more than 50 feet tall, but it's typically smaller. Although it usually grows alone, it may be joined by the ponderosa pine trees if rainfall is more than 12 inches per year. Despite their short stature, western junipers commonly live to be several hundred years old. In the great juniper groves of Central Oregon, some grow to be 4 to 5 feet thick. Half-dead, gnarled, ghost-like, they tell a tenacious struggle to survive where no other tree can survive. Hashtag survivor tree. The wood of western juniper is used mainly for fuel, fence posts, and gift shop novelties. Northwest Indians also ate the berries, and smaller animals and birds feast on these berries all year long. Hey there, juniper! The camel of the trees. Wiped out from the state during the late 1800s, Oregon populations of bighorn sheep have grown thanks to the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife efforts funded by hunting dollars and auctions and raffles of hunting tags. There are two types of bighorn sheep in eastern Oregon. The California bighorn sheep, which lives in central and southeastern Oregon, and the Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, which lives in the Blue Mountains Ecoregion in the Wallowa mountain range. And the Oregon Rocky Mountain sheep also goes into the depths of Hell's Canyon on the border with Idaho. Northeast Oregon's Rocky Mountain sheep have grown to about 800 since the first successful transplant of 40 animals from Jasper National Park in Canada, and this happened in 1971 when they brought those first 40 animals. Oregon's Rocky Mountain goat population has also grown to an estimated 800 since they were transported from the Topeka Mountain in northern Washington to the Wallowa Mountains in 1950. Hey there, goats! Hey there, sheep! Oregon's estimated 800 Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep are found in the northeast corner of the state, in the canyons of the Snake River and its tributaries, and in the alpine areas of the Wallowa Mountains. Bighorn sheep are one of the rarest game species hunted in Oregon today, with less than 100 tags available each year. Along with the Rocky Mountain goat, bighorn sheep tags are a once-in-a-lifetime tag, so you can only draw one tag once in your life. If you are lucky enough to do so, scouting and being physically prepared for their rugged country where they live, that's the most important thing. If you are physically prepared and you know how to scout out those sheep, then maybe you can take a once-in-a-lifetime chance of getting that hunting tag and finding yourself a bighorn sheep. Good luck. Hey there! What's that shiny object over there? It's gold! Eastern Oregon's Blue Mountains are the source of over 2/3 of the gold production in the state. The sources of gold come from numerous mining districts. Some of the richest gold deposits have come from within the Blue Mountains, primarily in Baker and Grant counties. Make me rich! Just how much gold was mined in Eastern Oregon, in the region of the Blue Mountains? Well, over $1 billion. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Well, that's over $1 billion, and in 2020, the price of gold is around $1,800 per ounce, meaning that the 800,000 ounces of gold mined in the Canyon City district from 1882 to 1904 would be worth $1.44 trillion in today's money. Ka-ching, ka-ching! Look at all that gold. Hey there! Let's take a look at the amazing John Day Fossil Beds National Monument. The John Day Fossil Beds is known for its incredibly preserved layers of fossil plants and mammals that lived in the region from about 45 million years ago to about 5 million years ago. More than 100 species of mammals have been identified in the fossil beds here, from saber-toothed tigers to salamanders Hey there, salamanders. Hey there, saber-toothed tigers. Hey there, dead things. Because that's what a fossil is. Let's go check out the John Day fossil beds and look at some dead stuff.